105 North Tamiami Trail, an experience you soon won't forget.
Here we go.
You sailed away and left me with nothing to say. But you already knew I would come searching anyway. So I sailed across the sea to see if you were there waiting for me. But you were not. So I sailed back with a broken heart. I waited till 3 to see if you would come looking for me. But you did not. So I fell asleep with a broken heart.
Beautiful, sunny Sarasota, Florida. This is a recovery room where we talk about everything prevention, everything treatment, and everything recovery. And my God, man, we've been doing this so long now. We're finding out each and every day that there's so much left to recover from. Hey, listen, before I get started, let me say, if you do not have our app already, go to your app store, you Android guys, type in WRBA Radio, and a black and white icon will appear, and you will be able to download the app. It's free. And you can listen to us anywhere in the world. Sorry, lunch is still sticking around. But anyway, but easier and better yet, do us a favor and go to the website, WRBA1075.com. And then you can listen to us there anywhere you are in the world. And that includes you out there in Anne Marie Island, Bonner. How you doing, Bonner? Good to see that you tuned in. And before we get any further, let me say I've been having some trouble holding on to this live feed on Facebook. And so if you lose me, and a matter of fact, even before you lose me, why don't you go to YouTube and check out our live stream? We have a much better setup here. We got a couple of cameras going. The sound is good. And if you just go to YouTube, type in WRBA Radio, or is it WRBA 1075? Actually, type in WRBA search in the search, type in WRBA 1075. A big red W will come up. And if you click on it, there should be an option to watch live. And, you know, I think that we'll be able to hold that feed. And again, we got a couple of different angles. Soon there'll be commercials and everything going on, because that's how we live in. Large, everything's happening, man. Everything's moving right along. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. You know, before I came here, someone said to me, and it's stuck in my head, and I want to share it with you. They said that, you know, it used to be get high or live clean. That used to be what your options were. But the options and the drugs have changed. These days, it's live or die, live clean or die. Now that's you know, and you know, this is just the reality. And so when fentanyl has hit the market and it's hit it as hard as it's hit it, I mean, we've gone from an opioid epidemic to an overdose epidemic, and that's just real. And so what I'm encouraging all my fellow addicts out there, especially those in recovery, make sure you stay in your program, man, because the only good gram is the program. You know, and so make sure you stay with the program and stay on it, because you know that devil have you thinking, hey, listen, I could do one hit. I've been clean for a while now. Let me just do one. Well, one ain't gonna hurt. Well, you know that old saying that one is too many and 1,000 is not enough. It pertains, and it still pertains to you. And I don't care how long you've been clean. I don't care how long you've been sober. That thing is still lurking around. You know, you may not feel like an addict anymore, but I got to tell you, you are, and that's not a bad thing. You know, I mean, especially, you know, this whole life is about perspective. You know, it's how you look at it. I mean, the way that I look at it, man, is that I am a miracle. When I look in the mirror, and when I look in the mirror, I see a miracle. And if you, and you know, you don't know where I came from. You know, you can see me sitting here today, but you don't know where I came from. You know, I can go all the way back to that being that little black boy in that dirt road in Greensboro, North Carolina, and it's called Gray Street. I was off to a bad start from the beginning. I grew up on Gray Street. in a little town in North Carolina with a dirt road. But you know what? That's okay, because you know, this God has given us all gifts, right? We're all blessed with something. And mine has been, I found, to be a servant. And you know what I found out yesterday? I found out yesterday that even servants need love. You know, even servants get tired, they get weary. You know, I found myself very weary with dealing with all the situations in life and agitated and frustrated. And thank God that I got a good God, and thank God that I got a good program and people that I can share it with, because I was just able to get out of it, man. And I'm just so happy, because I was not feeling like myself. I was frustrated and aggravated. But some of those people that love me, they reached out to me, and you know, they said, man, you know, even y'all that claim to be tough and strong and all that, you need a little love too, because you know, life sometimes it'll pile up on you, man. You know, so thank you guys, thank you for reaching out to me. And I gotta apologize to some people that in my frustration, I may have not been that same kind and loving person that I am, and not that I just profess to be, but I am. But this whole thing about it used to be that you had these two choices. It was live clean or get high. And now the changes, the choices now have changed to live clean or die. Listen, man, and it's clear. I've seen it with my own eyes, and it's horrific, man, to be sitting and talking to somebody and 1 minute and the next minute to find them stiff and cold and blue. It ain't a pretty thing, man. It ain't nothing nice about it, especially when it's somebody that you've been working with and that you had hopes for. You know, for those of you guys that are still out there in the struggle, man, make a decision and make it today. You know, because your days are numbered with what's going out there. They are cutting everything with fentanyl. All of my casual cocaine using friends that on the weekend you're gonna get yourself a little one-on-one. Listen, these days that 101 could easily be one and done. So let's keep it real here. You know, the drug life is no longer the same. And I guess for me, you know, it started off and it seemed very clear to be like a chemical warfare. It seemed very clear to be some of our enemies importing a weapon of mass destruction, a weapon of death, because that's what fentanyl. And then now you got carfentanil, and then you got ice, you got spice. You got all of these man-made things that are made just to kill you, just to blow your mind. If it don't kill you, it's going to kill your brain, and you might as well be dead. So this is where we are in this drug epidemic, this drug culture that we have. We've always lived in. I mean, every third commercial on television is about something for something. Your back hurt, take a pill. You got a headache, take a pill. You can't go to the bathroom, take a pill. I mean, we're inundated with these things, and hey, Glenn, and just like with the fentanyl, you know, they tell you the horrible side effects. Well, we know the horrible side effects of fentanyl. It's death, and more so than ever before. It used to be an opioid crisis. Now it's an overdose crisis. And so, you know, we talk about things like Narcan, those things that are God bless it, that have saved so many lives. If you can get to the person enough to administer the Narcan in an overdose situation, then you know, you can save a life. We talked about clean needle exchanges, those drastic things that are necessary. But you know, they had clean needle exchanges back during the AIDS epidemic, and it made a difference. And so I know a lot of people tend to think that it is encouraging users to do more drugs. Well, let me explain something to you. We don't need no encouragement. You know, don't need no encouragement, but we do need some people that care. We do need some people that are trying to make a difference. And so, yeah, I got mixed emotions about it all. I got mixed emotions about, all right, big dog. I got mixed emotions about, you got that. Okay. I got mixed emotions about medically assisted treatment. I know some people that medically assisted treatment has been worse for them than their addiction to the opioids. But there's some people that it's worked for and it's saved their lives. They would have been dead long before now, or long before they did, or whoever it is. I mean, it's just so crazy that I just equate the two. Okay, and you're welcome, Tammy. Tammy from North Carolina says, "Thank you guys for what you do. You never know whose life will and can change," and that is true. I mean, I'm so encouraged these days that, because, you know, I'm out there in the trenches, and I'm so encouraged these days when somebody comes to me like out of the blue and they say, "Hey, you know what? Hey, what's up, Justin?" They say, "Hey, you know what, man? I thank you so much for doing what you do. I was listening to your show." And of course, that always hits me first. The fact that they're saying, "Hey, I was listening to your show." I mean, because, you know, I'm here and I'm able to look at this live feed and see these people that are looking in. But you know what? Here at WRBA, we have an FM signal, okay? And that FM signal goes out into the universe, and we never know who is listening. We had a guest that came in. My boy Gerald came in, and Gerald said, "Hey, man, we listen to you guys every time you're on." And so, yes, we don't know who's listening, and we don't know why they're listening, and we don't know if what we say, and that includes you guys that respond here on this live feed. We don't know who's lurking out there and watching. We don't know who comes behind us after the show is over and watches it, not live, but just watches the replay. And so, I mean, this is very serious stuff that we're doing. Okay, I mean, and you know, I again, in my frustration yesterday, I kind of pissed some people off, and they said to me, you know, maybe you're in the wrong field. And I said, you know what, maybe I am, but guess what? I'm not going to quit doing what I'm doing, because this is what I'm here for. Okay. And I'm fortunate enough to have great friends out there. My friend Justin Brown is on. I see my friend John Wilson just joined on. And those guys, I love them and they love me because they want the best for me. And that's what I want for you guys that are out there in the struggle, because this struggle is real, man. This struggle is real. I want you guys that are out there in the struggle to know that, hey, if they haven't told you yet, if nobody's told you yet today that they love you, let me be the first. Guys out there, I love you, man, and I want the best for you, but you gotta want it for yourself. I mean, I had somebody in my life that just passed away recently, and we had we had such great hope. Everything was going along, and then that monkey jumped back on their back, and they're no longer with us. And I had hope for them. But you know what? That is my position here in this life. I'm a hope dealer. And in everything I do. I mean, John and Justin and I are in a business together called PM International. It's a health and wellness company. I guess kind of just goes along with, you know, what we do here on the recovery room, because guess what's important when you're coming into the recovery part of your life? Your health and your wellness, your eating habits, your exercise, you're getting plenty of sleep. This is all part of recovery. You got to change things. You can't replace them. You know, I mean, you can't modify them. You've got to replace them. And so replace them with good, clean, healthy habits. Our company, PMI, man, I'm so excited and so happy to be a part of it, because it fits right into my life, because I'm about health. I'm a health freak. Hey, what's up, Justin? Hey, John. And you know what I mean? And so, I know this, yes, this is a unadulterated, shameless endorsement of a company that I'm working with, because I believe in it wholeheartedly. And if you want to know more about it, feel free to call me, a private message me, because it is something that is necessary. You know, if you're in recovery, then you need one thing you need is you need a hand up. You don't need a hand out per se. You need a hand up. And so we've got some people that are wanting and willing to help individuals who are trying to get their lives in order, because, you know, I know how it is, man. I know how it is to be walking barefoot down the street, man. I know how it is to be dumpster diving, you know, trying to get something to eat. I know how it is to be begging for change on the street. You feel like you're the low man on the totem pole, but you're just out there surviving. And you know what? You can make a decision to change your life. I got a question for you. And everybody out there, and raise your hand because I can see you. Do you think right now, and I'm going to ask you a question, this is a serious question. Is there something that you can do right now, right this minute in your life that can just screw up everything? Is there something that you can do right now in this life that can just screw up everything? Yeah, I see hands raised. Yes, that's right. My other question, obviously the flip side of that question, is there something that you can do right now to make things better? Lots of hands. That's good, because that's the reality. In those two questions alone, you have answered the proverbial question of all time, or fell into what we call, if it is to be, it's up to me. Because for a fact that your bad decisions, you can make those and screw things up. But we got to make these decisions to make things better. And we have the ability, we have the capability, but we have to make the decision. And guess what? We've got to find that purpose, and we've got to find that passion, and then we've got to get into action. See, we're talking about love. What? Love is the new currency. Is that what we always say? Love is the new currency. Well, it is. And guess what? Love is an action word. It's a verb. It's not a noun or a pronoun. It's a verb, and so you've got to act it out. I want to encourage you guys once again to make sure that you are going to our YouTube page, because guess what? That is going to allow us the opportunity to actually earn some money from this, because we're able to monetize that site. And so we have a live YouTube feed that's happening, and you can go to WRBA, go to YouTube, search WRBA 1075, and a big red icon will appear. Click on it, and then there'll be the opportunity to watch live. They say, Glenn asked me, why do you love strangers? Because they're easy to love, Glenn. Hey, Glenn, that's a good question. Why do I love strangers? Because that is what my God has led me to do. That's what my God has told me to do. I must spread love to the far corners of the world. And that's what they did way back in the Bible. See, that thing was just for Jews for a while. And then they decided, you know what? We're going to have to share this with the Gentiles. And I'm so glad that they did. I'm so happy that they did, because now I got it. I got the message. Okay. Love is a choice. All right. Love you too, Justin Brown. Yeah. So the reason I love strangers is because they need love. Okay. And it may be, if they had it, we talk a lot about parenting. A lot of people want to be their kids' friends, right? I want to be their friend. We got to be there. We've got to be their parent. We have to be a disciplinarian. It's okay with having a friendship with them, okay? But we're here to parent kids. And in that parenting is not just all about discipline. It is about love. And teaching kids what love is really all about, and showing them what love is really all about. Because then if they learn this little trick about loving themselves, then it's hard not to love other people. It's certainly hard to go and intentionally hurt other people. And that's what happens with these guys and these people that are going out there and they're killing innocent people, innocent unarmed people. They're taking a weapon, an automatic weapon, going into a place and killing unarmed innocent people. I often say, man, why don't y'all just walk into the police station and do that? Walk into a shooting range and open fire on some people that can shoot back at you. It's cowardly, man. It's cowardly, and it makes no sense. Okay? And so, Tammy, yes, right. God is love, and you are supposed to love everybody, even though some some may not be lovable. Hey, listen, I know a whole lot of unlovable people, or at least they make it very difficult to love them. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. You got to love them anyway. You've got to be the love. You know, the Lord said, I want you to go out and I want you to preach the gospel. And he said, and sometimes I want you to use words when necessary, which only meant to me that you have to be the picture. You have to be that thing that other person wants. You know, if you know what, a smile is contagious, right? and a frown is too. Okay, but a smile is contagious, and guess what a smile does? A smile increases your face value. Haha. You know what else? A sincere frown, a forced smile is better than a sincere frown. You know what else? Have you ever tried to smile and feel bad? It just, you can't do it. It's not chemically possible. And so when you walk into a place and you greet somebody, smile at them, man, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to smile back. You know what the 3 words that we use most in the course of a day? Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, how are you? Do you really care? That would be my question. Do you really care? When you ask somebody how you're doing, do you really care? And then maybe you should be engaging them in conversation after that. Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. Well, really? So what's going on in your life? So what's happening? Has anybody told you they love you today? I mean, my spiritual dad, because I lost my earthly one. My spiritual dad is one of those people, man. He tells everybody in the street. We're in a restaurant to strangers, answering Glenn's question. We're in a restaurant. And it don't matter. He'll tell everybody in the room, hey, I love you. He'll scream it out loud, you know, and sometimes you don't put your head down, but then after you get it for a while, you go, you know what? And guess what he gets back? A lot of love. Because that's the thing about love, right? The more you give, the more you get. That's the greatest exchange rate on the planet, man. You know? And so love, 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 love. I'm going to say it about 15, 20, 30 more times. Love, 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 love. Spread it around, pass it around, pass it around. You know, we at PMI, this is another one of them shameless commercials. You know, we've got some people that are coming to our business that are just very new to us, but in the course of a very short course of period of time, we've all become family, and there's love, and there's trust, and there's compassion, and you can do that with people. You know, you can find those people that are like-minded, man, and it makes life just a whole completely different, rewarding experience. You know. Yeah, Glenn, that is exactly the question, and I'm doing a little short film called that. What would Jesus do? Jesus would wash your feet. That's what Jesus would do. Jesus would heal you with love, you know. And what is the message is meant is that Jesus didn't have any special powers other than love, and the power of influence to influence someone to be able to step up, to get up, you know. And then he encouraged other people to do the same, and that's what we do here every day that we're on here at the Recovery Room. We just want to share that message so that you guys will go out and spread this same message, because you know, in that Good Samaritan story, you know, all the people walking by the Good Samaritan and all that, and he was stuck there, because people will keep you stuck because they keep giving you the same thing over and over. You keep doing the same thing over and over, and you keep getting the same thing over and over. So people just walk by, give him change, and then he'd go home and he'd be out there doing the same thing. But the best part of the Good Samaritan story is that these two disciples walked by, and they didn't even pray for the dude. They just told him to get up. They just told him to get up. Sometimes you got to speak at it. You got to not even pray for it. Sometimes you got to speak it into existence. So I'm speaking into existence a good life, a good, kind, caring, loving life for everybody that's in the sound of my voice. Okay, so sometimes you got to speak these things into existence, and so that's what happened. That's what happens, and we've got to do that for people. We got to let people know, hey, man, it ain't over. You know, and in fact, the best is just yet to come, because what we know for sure is that we are all We've all got gifts, right? And you know what? Do you know that the most popular, the most valuable property on the planet is the graveyard? Not the golf course, not Trump Towers, not none of that stuff. It's the graveyard. And you know why? Because most of us go to our graves with our treasures still buried deep inside of us. And what's worse, they put it in a box and put it in the ground. And the world doesn't ever get to see it. And it doesn't matter whether that means that you were a great cook or that you were a great mathematician, a great artist, a great singer, scholar, politician, whatever it is. If you do not find that passion before you die, the world loses. And that brings me to my favorite quote from Marian Anderson Williamson. Listen, and here's how it goes. It says, listen, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is not our light. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that people won't feel insecure around you. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. We are liberated from our fear. Our present automatically liberates others. Hello, somebody. That's some powerful stuff, man. You know, that's some powerful stuff. It is. We have to be the light, and I don't know how else to put it. We have to be the light. And you know, I see some of you guys that tune into this every day, and you hear these things, and I know that it's getting in you, and I know that it's getting in your bones, and I know that, you know, before I come on here, I pray for wisdom, and I pray for the words that God would like for me to put out into His universe, for that, even if it's just that one person that hears it, that they get it. Okay. But more so than anything, I'm looking for people that get it and then go and spread it. Because you know what Jesus did with 12 people? They're still talking about it today. So we have a challenge here, people. And that challenge is, can we do that thing that is going to make our lives and the lives of others better, or do we do that thing that screws it up like we've been used to doing? You know, there's this whole saying that the storm is not your own. You know, when that storm hits, everybody gets rained on. It rains on the just and the unjust. It doesn't matter. And because I know that addiction is such a selfish experience, we tend not to care about what our actions are doing to other people. But when you start to care, then that's when the magic happens, man. When you start to feeling that love for yourself again, and then which opens up the opportunity for you to love others. Man, do you know what it's like for a mama to see her baby boy coming around? You know, to see her baby boy coming back to himself, or a baby girl coming back to herself. You know, when we know for a fact that you know they were at their bottom, man. They had stolen, they had robbed, they've lied, they cheated, they've done every possible thing to destroy every relationship, but they made a decision to change their lives. And a day at a time, they started doing little things like putting in job applications, even if it's like at the 7-Eleven, okay? And they get a job. Because you know what they say, right? It's easy to get a job when you got a job. At least it's easy to get a better one you know, because at least you got a little income coming in, and you can get on the bus or do whatever it is. And then they start going to meetings, and they start like working out and eating well and getting closer to God. You know, I've seen so many situations in this whole now overdose epidemic where the message had to be delivered to mama that your baby boy or your baby girl is dead. They did not make it. And I don't mean to be morbid, and I'm not trying to instill any fear in anybody, or maybe I am. I really do want to instill the fear in individuals that still feel like they're invincible, still feel like, you know, it won't happen to them. You know, tell that to those people in that municipal building out there, up there in Virginia Beach, because we all feel like we're invincible. We all feel like, you know, nothing can happen to us. I want to give you guys a word of advice. You know what the most dangerous thing we do every day, and that's if you got a driver's license or if you got a car. Jumping in your car and riding down the street is the most dangerous thing you can do every day. And we always think the accident won't happen to us, but I know that, you know, I've seen it happen, and it's an accident. That's when two people run into each other by accident. And I've seen some lives damaged in the story like that. In fact, a whole bunch of those accidents are why individuals end up addicted anyway, because, you know, the pain protocol is that, you know, you get injured, you're in pain, you go to the doctor, and of course they don't have any measure. Like, you can measure blood pressure, you can measure your oxygen, you can measure some other things when you go into the hospital, right? But there's no apparatus to measure pain. And so the pain thing is your ass. Or what's your pain level between 1 and 10? 10. That's the normal answer is 10. You know, and so I guess I'm gonna break this story down again, right? So you go in there, and the protocol is opioid. So they give you a painkiller, which is normally an opioid. You feel better. Some people feel better than others. Some people have what they call the opioid or drug abuse disorder. Okay, and they have a tendency to like it a little bit more than other people. Okay, and so realistically, that's what happens to a lot of people. And you know, there's a mindset out there. It's a stigma that's attached to people being addicted. Like, you know, it's just that they are the scum of the earth. They're corrupt, or they're morally inept, or whatever the case might be, which is so far from the truth. You've got doctors, you've got lawyers. It doesn't matter about your socio-economic background when it comes to this stuff, man. I know addicts in all walks of life. You know, just go to the rooms of NA and you'll find out. You know, there's addicts in all walks of life. But I'm encouraged when I walk into those rooms because they're full. I mean, there's a double-edged sword. They're full, which means a whole bunch of people off the street, but it means that the epidemic is just that bad. You know, and so, but I'm encouraged because what you have is a situation where you've got people who have been down through there, who have experienced these near-death experiences. And they survived. They've been blessed by God to survive, and a whole bunch of them get it right and become productive members of society again. And my prediction. Look at me looking at me. My prediction is that that those people are going to be huge, serious soldiers, warriors in this revival of the human spirit, because that is what has got to happen. There's got to be a revival of the human spirit. Our civic and our moral duty is to make a change in our own world. You see, it's called existentialism, I think is how you pronounce it. It is creating your own world within the bigger and broader world, because if you get caught up out in that bigger and broader world, man, that'll blow your mind. You'll be crazy and numbed, just like the rest of the individuals out there. You know, I sit here and I get on my roll and I can talk, but this is a talk show, and the number, and soon that number, if you're on our YouTube page, that number will flash up. God willing, the creek don't rise. But the number here is 941-896-6657. That's 941-896-6657. If you have something that, that if you've heard something or whatever that you would like to talk about and contribute to the show, then feel free. I mean, I appreciate you guys doing your posts here on this live feed, but call me sometime and talk to me. I got a phone here sitting right next to me, and I'd like to talk to you guys. I mean, I know that it's people don't really want to, and I apologize because I outed somebody yesterday, and I sure didn't mean to. You can stay anonymous, or you can let people know who you are and what you're going through. But again, it just may be that what you say is something that somebody needed to hear that's going to help them in their recovery. Okay. It may be just what you say. It could be something that somebody needed to hear that's going to help them in their recovery. And it doesn't matter what you're recovering from. It doesn't matter whether it's overeating or drugs or pornography or alcohol or shopping or gambling. God, the list goes on and on. It doesn't matter. People are praying for some relief. People are praying for someone to say a kind word to them, for someone to give them some compassion and some love and just lend an ear, listen to what they're going through. Okay. Again, me as this guy I'm out here on this battle, and every day I do my best. But yesterday I got tired, and I had to go into what they call the secret room. There's a movie called The War Room. Sometimes you got to go into the war room, close the door, sit down, and have a conversation with God, which is praying, and then you got to have then you got to meditate, which is listening. Listen for that answer. Listen for that still small voice, because realistically, in that war room, in that secret place, is where you get your information. And what we tend to do as human beings and these intellectual people that we are, with this whole thing called the paralysis of analysis, we tend not to listen to that voice. And so I encourage everybody today to find your secret place, find your war room, that place where you go, that you isolate everything, the whole world. You turn off the TVs and all that. I don't care if it's in a bathroom. I don't care if it's in a closet, but it's got to be a room where you go and you sit down and you pray. And then you meditate. When you pray, you're talking, and when you're meditating, you're listening. And when you hear that voice, listen to it. Don't argue with it. It's giving you the guidance that you need, especially if you're praying for wisdom, especially if you're praying for your steps to be ordered. I guarantee you that if you listen to that voice, you will make the right decision. We as human beings, we got this free will, and more often than not, we take that will back and we go, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it my way. Well, let me tell you what my way got me. My way got me here talking to you about how I screwed up my life. Okay. Now I'm so happy that I got some spiritual warriors in my life that look out for me right here on this earthly plane. I know I got some ancestor gods up there that are looking out for me in this earthly plane, because they got me through a horrific situation, and I'm not the Lone Ranger. There's a lot of people. So if you are there and you're still in that struggle, you're still using, I got to tell you that Amazing Grace. If God can save a wretch like me and some of these other wretches that I know out here that's been saved, God knows he can do it for you. So don't give up, because it ain't over. The party's just starting, and this is a party where they got good music. The food is good. There ain't no fighting, ain't no hollering and screaming and fighting, man. It is almost a little slice of heaven. You know what heaven is supposed to look like? Heaven is supposed to look like a real close relationship with God and awesome, great fellowship with your brothers and sisters. And see, I don't believe you have to die to have that. I believe you can have that right here on earth. I believe you can have a little slice of heaven right here on earth if you just get your relationship right with God. Okay, and not some higher power arbitrary thing that we're talking about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And yes, I said, and I bet you my Facebook's going to go off right now. But they can't turn off the YouTube. If you guys are not on YouTube yet, go on YouTube, okay, and type in the search button WRBA 1075. A red button will come up. Click on that button, and there's an option of watching the live feed. And we've got a nice little setup here. Looks good on that screen. I imagine it'll look good on your computer screen, or if you're one of those people that are real smart and you got your computer hooked up to your TV and all. Man, the technology is amazing. So it is here, and I thank God. I thank God for Facebook. You know, they've allowed me to over a year now be able to come out on this program live every day, and now we've cut it down for a few days as life has taken on a whole lot more things, and so I don't have the same time that I used to have. But it has upped the ante, and we now, and what we're really getting ready to do with this new feed that we got, we're going to have the opportunity to use a program that's going to be able to blast it out to YouTube, to Facebook, to Twitter, to Instagram, to all them grams. And remind you guys again that out there in the struggle, the only good gram is a program. Every time I hear gram, it comes on mind. You used to want, and we gonna get a gram. Let it be the program. But anyway, this program is going to be blasted out to a lot of the various social medias out there, because we got our AV guy who's worked his butt off over there, and we appreciate it. He's got it right now to, again, where we're streaming live on YouTube, and that site is monetized, guys. And so do us a favor, just go and click on it, because that's all you got to do. Click on it a couple times and go and click on it and go back and watch some stuff, because the more clicks we get, the better. It's great, because right now I know that with WRBA, if you don't have the app, go to your app store, type in WRBA radio. A black and white icon will appear, and you can download it for free and listen to us anywhere you're in the world. And guess what? Realistically, we have listeners in about 49 countries, and then we got listeners all across the country. And so the beauty of technology is that it's made us one big global community. It's also separated us. I sit in a room with people texting me in the same room. Just talk to me, man. Or instead of like it used to be, you pick up the phone, you call somebody, you send them a text, and then they put the stupid LOL on there. I mean, anytime I see LOL, I'm saying, no, man, there ain't nothing funny about this. You meant something else. See, LOL works backwards for me. And so, this is the thing about words, and this is the thing about, the lack of emotion or tonality in a text. I could take it all wrong. So you just do better to call me. Matter of fact, if you want to call me right now and tell me what's going on in your mind, if you got something going on in your life that you need to share, maybe, so you can share with some people out here on this live feed, because that's the thing. Oh, and that's the other thing. If you're here, obviously you're here on Facebook. If you haven't gone and joined the recovery room yet, please do, because there's a lot of good information shared there. So go type in the recovery room on your Facebook page. When you go to Facebook in the search page, type in the recovery room, and I think there's an option there to join. And please join it and share some information there. See, this whole thing is about sharing information. That's what this whole program is about, and that's the only reason that we exist, is so that we can share information. Okay, and so I encourage you guys to go to YouTube and go to our YouTube page and watch this live feed there, because it looks really good. You get a couple of different angles, and you get to see my, over here you got my good side, and over here you got my real side, and you got my sure side. But realistically though, I love you guys. If nobody's told you that today, if nobody's told you they love you, and here, let me give you a hug. Reminds me of old Edwina Gaines. You know how something is really good, you go, ooh, that's good. And do that for somebody that cooked you a nice meal. Okay, go, ooh, and let them know that you really like it. Okay, this is an unknown thing. It's possible, said pride. It's risky, said experience. It's pointless, said reason. Give it a try, whispered the heart. That's a good one. I love that one. Listen, I believe in miracles because I am one. Because there's no doubt in my mind that I am only here today because of God's grace and mercy. That's great, awesome one too. Here's one from Katharine Hepburn. Katharine Hepburn said, "As one goes through life, one learns that if you don't paddle your own canoe, you don't move." Ha ha! And that's real. Oh, this is for my musician friends out there, and musician addicts especially, because that's what happened to me. I was a rock and roll dude back in the day. But anyway, here's a musician one. "I want to be a musician when I become a grown-up. In today's world, it is an insane thing to want to be." Answer: yes, it is an insane thing to want to be. Becoming a grown-up is highly overrated. Just becoming a musician and you'll be much happier that way. That's for Don Dean over here. Our AV guy is the bass player over there. Hey, here's a good one for you, for my fellow alcoholics out there. It says, "Alcohol is a perfect solvent. It dissolves marriages, families, and careers." Oh my God. Oh man. Okay. So it says, you don't get over an addiction by stopping using. You recover by creating a new life where it is easier not to use. If you don't create a new life, then all the factors that brought you to your addiction will catch up with you again. And God, ain't that the truth? That's that thing about people, places, and things. You know, you do the same thing, expecting different results. Guess what you get? The same thing. Let's see. Lovingly call forth all the gifts, talents, and strengths hidden deep within yourself, and use them any way you can to light up the world around you. God, guys, it's the same thing over and over. If it is to be, it's up to me. Overheard someone say, "You're always one decision away from a totally different life." Let that one sink in for a minute. You're always one decision away from a totally different life. Okay, and hope is the mother of repetition. And repetition is where, if you're hoping, right, it's not that you, because that's how people turn into addicts, right? You do it over, and you do it one time, then you do it over and over and over again. Well, the same thing applies to success. The same thing applies to happiness. Do that thing and do it over and over and over again. Okay, here's one of my favorites. It says, "It's a good feeling when God shows up just in time, but the best feeling is when you realize that He never left you." Hello. And this is about the people who think that they're the worst. You know, let me tell you about some of the best biblical figures, the most popular big biblical figures. Top of the list would be Saul, who turned into Paul, who originally was the persecutor of the Christians. He killed millions of Christians before he became the spokesman for them. You see what I mean? So if you're thinking that it's over, you think that you're so bad, no, man, you just made a mistake. And mistakes are good. Mistakes are what we use to learn from. You know, and if you think that for a minute that I'm saying to you that, hey, listen, you get clean and life just turns into this mystical, magical, trouble-free place. No, there's always going to be trials and tribulation, but those are the things that let you know that you're still alive, that you still have feelings, okay? And then they are the thing that move you on to a different place. Okay, so this one says, "Next time you think you're too messed up for God to use you, Samson was a womanizer. Abraham disobeyed God. Rahab was a prostitute. Moses was a murderer. Jonah ran from God. Peter denied Christ. David had an affair. Elijah was suicidal. Paul sinned often. Jacob was a liar. Noah got drunk. Noah got drunk and danced naked in the tent." Hey, listen, yeah, see, you gotta study, man. You gotta read. That's what the book's there for. You know why it's still the most popular book on the planet, the bestseller? No matter the New York Times bestseller, the bestseller around the world, because there's information in there about life. And so I usually step on a lot of people's toes, because there's some people I know that are atheists, and there's some people I know that want to deal with the higher power of their understanding and all that stuff. And let me tell you something about all that. There is a book that has been written that has a guideline for living in it. Okay, so people get twisted and get it all caught up thinking, it's religion. No. We're not talking about religion. We're talking about spirituality, and spirituality governs and shows you how to live a life where you are. See, you're not the person that they applaud when they leave the room. You know those people that when they come in the room and everything gets silent. So which one do you want to be? You want to be the person that applauds when you walk into the room or when you leave the room? Okay, so that Bible, that book of life, shows you little tidbits and of what is necessary to live a successful life. And you see, if you're one of those people that that listens to positive thinking stuff, and I got a whole bunch. I love them. I love Les Brown. I love Zig Ziglar. I love Dwayne Dwyer. But if you read between the lines, they're only taking biblical principles and turning them into lay terms. Okay, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Translation: whatever the mind of a man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. There's about 1 million of them. Okay, so it is the book of life, and let's not get it twisted. And stop with the I don't believe in God. I mean, how can you not? You ever looked in the mirror and looked into your own eyes and was awestruck with wonder of how these doggone things work? They cross over each other to make a single vision. You don't think it was a God that did that? Oh, okay, so you so capable of doing it. That's how it works. Okay, I get it now. Come on, people. It begins and ends in your mind. What you give power to has power over you if you allow it to. Now here's one of my favorites, and this is for my fellow people. You know who I'm talking to, right? God uses broken people like you and me to rescue broken people like you and me. Hello, somebody? This is the reality of the situation. See, God can't, he can only work through people. So does the devil now. So does the devil now. And I've had this long conversation the other day with a friend of mine about in fact, G-Man, my boy G-Man, he's to be coming back into the station in the next couple of days, about hip hop and how music in itself, see, because Satan is the angel or the prince of music. In case you guys didn't know, when he was kicked out of heaven, he was given music to use. And these days it's being used and I don't know, it's been used for some horrible things. I mean, obviously there's always some great music. There's some great music that you can transport back to where you were at the time when you heard it. Or if you're feeling down, you play the right song and it lifts you up. You can actually be feeling kind of good and hear a song and it makes you sad because it reminds you of somebody that you really loved that's not in your life anymore. But the reality is that we are here to be used to help other people. God uses us, and you got to be open to it. You got to be one of those people that says, "Hey, God, take me, use me, tell me what it is you would have me to do." Man, I got to tell you what, it makes things so much easier because if you listen, you get the easy way out. When we start taking and over analyzing the thing, we always over analyze it to the point that we used to say back in the day, study long, study wrong, and that's real. Study long, study wrong. Listen to that still small voice in your head. Don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about it because the decision is easy. One decision can change your whole life. But here's a good one about grace. Grace is when God gives us good things that we don't deserve. Mercy is when he spares us from bad things we deserve. Blessings are when he's generous with both. Truly, we can never run out of reasons to thank God. God is good all the time. God's grace is compelling when explained, but irresistible when experienced. Got 6 minutes. Okay, I got my producer over here, AV Guy, is saying we got 6 minutes. And I want to thank you guys once again for tuning in. I don't know, maybe about 300 or so shows under our belts, and we're still here, God willing. we'll be here on Thursday. Tomorrow's a day off. We got some outside missions that we need to accomplish, and then we'll be here on Thursday, and then we'll be back. We'll be off because we're going up to South Carolina. I'll be sending you guys pictures. Going up to South Carolina to do a big concert in Columbia, South Carolina. This weekend, I'll be going with G-Man, and I'll be on the show. And that's going to be fun. It's supposed to be about 5,000 people, and so that should be great. So I'll be thinking about you guys. You guys send me some travel mercies and prayers if you would. I'd appreciate it. We'll be out doing that road in a van and trying to get there safely. So, I appreciate you guys for tuning in every day. I appreciate it more when I know that you guys go out there and you spread this message. And this is not my message. Don't think I'm saying, oh, you're out there and you spread my message. I am not that stupid. I may look it, but I'm not. When you go and you spread God's message of love, then you're doing what you're supposed to do here on the planet. And if you can find a way to make a living by spreading love, hey man, that's even better. And I can show you how to do that. Just give me a call. That's my boys out there, John Wilson and Justin. They know what I'm talking about. G-Man, you know what I'm talking about. I know y'all out there listening. Hey, listen, if you don't have the app yet, please get it. And this is for Android, because right now something's going on with our iPhone, iTunes, or whatever. But that's okay. You guys with the Androids, go to your app store, type in WRBA Radio, black and white icon will appear, and you can download it for free and listen on your mobile devices for you. Because even though we're here on a live feed, this is a radio show. And speaking of radio, WRBA, man, it is a brainchild of our station manager and one of our other station managers and engineers, Ronnie Phelps and Craig, big dog. Boy, we always say you got to get yourself a big dog. But it's designed for a community. There are so many great shows on here that you guys, if you got the app, just tune in sometimes and check it out. We'll update the website. There should be a schedule of shows on the website, but we've got some young people that are speaking their minds, and that's just encouraging to me. And I know that was the idea from the beginning, is to provide a platform so that people can express themselves, because so often we feel like there's no place, and that we remain silent. I am more than grateful to have this platform that reaches out to the world. And as a result, so many great things are happening in this life for myself and for people around me. And that's what it's supposed to be about, right? You're supposed to have the people that are in your immediate vicinity. If your life is getting better, their life is supposed to get better as well, right? Because that's what this whole thing is all about. So yes, and also, let's see, you can go to the website, which is WRBA1075.com. And that's where you can listen to us also on your cell phone or your mobile devices anywhere in the world. We've got 49 states. It blows my mind that we've got like Sierra Leone. I mean, it's just to say that is amazing to me, that they're listening in Sierra Leone, that they're listening in Russia, that they're listening in Aruba. They're listening in Germany now at a peak rate. There's many people listening in Germany right now as they're all listening in America. What's up, Dogen Splotch? How do you say that?
And left me with nothing.
Doom taught me what he said. I love you guys. I love you guys in Germany. Hey, listen, our company's
I would come searching anyway.
At any rate, signing off, the producers playing to sign out music. Hey, listen, remember, it is
to
time
see if you were waiting for me, but you were not. So I sat back with a broken heart. I waited till 3 to see if you would come looking for me, but you did not. So I fell asleep with a broken heart.